Okay, welcome to our fourth session on LinkedIn. This is the LinkedIn standard course, just to make sure you're in the right place. We also have an advanced course that there are probably folks on here from the advanced course as well, because I highly recommend that everyone who bought the advanced course be on the standard course as well they can get all the fundamentals set up right so that the prospecting techniques I teach in the advanced course uh, are going to work. um, this is the session we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about groups and marketing through groups. This is a hidden cash cow of LinkedIn that we're going to talk about. I had originally scheduled to do this session last week, but I switched the order around a little bit. I just thought this would work better at this point rather than um, earlier rather than later. So, I mean, after we talked about connections. So you should have received a survey if you're part of the advanced course where you entered your preferred times for the advanced course, and I believe we have almost all of the advanced folks have put down their preferred times. So we're going to be messaging all of you um, about the times. We've got a couple of times that basically work for everyone, and so probably two sessions of the advanced course, those two times, and we'll be able to hit everybody live then. There's no recording of that though, so you need to make sure and make it. If you said, hey, I can make it at this time, and we scheduled it for that time, make sure you can make it, because there's no recording. You can attend both sessions if you want, if you're part of the advanced course. And it's going to be the exact same content as the last one. So if you already attended one of the advanced sessions, it's going to be the exact same content. We just repeat the content because we're not doing a recording, so we want to make sure everyone gets exposure to that content. But some people have attended multiple times just to make sure they really get it down, make sure they get it down well. If you didn't get the survey, please shoot an email to us at chadwarrior@gmail.com, and we can make sure you get that survey. I believe it's also in the members area if you log in. If you're an advanced course member, I believe it's right there. You can just click on it and fill it out in your members area there for this LinkedIn course. Okay, so I am going to start my content here, and we are recording this session though. This is the advanced course, so we're doing all of the advanced session. This is the standard course, and we're doing all of our we're recording all of the standard sessions. So if you miss a session, or if you missed one in the past, you can go into the members area and get the recordings of all the sessions. Currently, we have the August 20th and the August 23rd sessions up. The 21st session recording is coming soon. We had a little issue with the recording. We had to pull up a backup. That should be up very soon. But you can, at least if you missed the 20th or the 23rd, you can get those recordings in the members area right now. Hopefully everyone had a chance to use these bots and to watch these three videos here. I'd encourage you to at least test out the bots and give these videos a look before the course ends on Friday, because after our last session you won't have the advantage of being able to jump on here and do a Q&A because we won't have any more live sessions. So I'd encourage you to get your questions in, try out the software, watch the videos so you can make sure that you know what these things are saying and what the videos are talking about. If you have any questions, you can ask those. Also, if you're part of the SEO Cash Club, those of you that took advantage of that free trial, free 1 month of the SEO Cash Club, we have now created a SEO Cash Club LinkedIn subforum in the SEO Cash Club. So if you're part of the standard or the advanced LinkedIn courses and you also got the free trial of the SEO Cash Club, the 1 month free, you can log in to your members area here, and once you log in, just click on the forum button right here, and there will be a forum. If you scroll down, you'll see the under the income generators, you'll see the LinkedIn Cash Secrets discussions. So if you continue to be a member of the SEO Cash Club, you can continue to ask questions about the software, any issues you're having, tactics. We'll be sharing secrets in there, maybe even releasing updated videos in there on LinkedIn. So that's for those that stay on as Cash Club members. That'll be a special little subforum for you. We won't be posting the videos. Obviously, we'll keep the videos separate over here in this members area because not all the Cash Club members have purchased this LinkedIn course. But if you have questions about the course, or you're, say a couple months down the line, you run into some issues you need help with, and you're a Cash Club member, we can continue to support and help you there in that forum, and you can continue to benefit from the existing discussions that are going to continue going on here month after month as people make money on LinkedIn using our tactics. So, all right, so let me jump into the content here. This is the first session we're going to do on groups and marketing through groups. We have talked a little bit about groups, but we're going to get really in depth here. And if you're not familiar with what LinkedIn groups are, if you log into LinkedIn, up here you go to the interests tab and you just click on groups, and it's going to list all of the groups you have requested to join, and the groups you're a member of, and also I have a bunch of groups in here. This is my test profile. I have a bunch of groups in here that are pending approval as well. You can search groups as well by clicking on the advanced search button up here. And then when the advanced people search pops up, you uncheck first connections, uncheck second connections, and keep group members checked. And then you can search for people that are in the groups that you're also a member of, and search for people by keyword that maybe are in the groups that you're part of. Say you're looking for purchasers in the groups that you're a part of because you want to message them or something like that. That would be how you would do that. And you can also do searches for specific groups just by searching up here in the top, and then down here searching here in specific groups. And if you do a search for anything, pretty much, you're going to be able to choose and check out groups as well as part of the search. So just by typing in your keyword in that white box, and then down here on the left, after you type in your keyword, just click on groups, and that'll bring up all the groups that have your specific keyword in them. As you can see, I just did a search that brought up 4,677 group results for the word SEO. So that's kind of the basics of what groups are. They're basically a discussion forum type format within LinkedIn itself, but there are some advantages to a group, because especially if you're a group owner, it really helps you with your brand if you're the group owner, because they see, oh, look, this person owns a group, that you become the hub. You become the hub of all activity. You become the expert, even if you don't know that much about the niche, just by virtue of owning and moderating a group on that topic in that market. You become seen as an expert. You can also message members of groups directly, even if you aren't connected with them. So here we have, if I click on the members tab of the Business Owners Toolkit, I can see all the members of this specific group, and all these people I'm not connected with at all. But if I scroll over their name, you can see over here there's a little send a message link, and if I click on that, it brings up an ability to message them. And that is how our loophole messenger works. It can message everybody in a group. We talked about that in the first session, the August 20th session, how to use that software. So that's the basics of groups and how groups work. But we're going to get into a lot more of the ins and outs of actually making money and marketing in groups right now. All right, so what are the benefits of groups? Well, One of the big benefits of a group is if you own your own group, and I'll show you this in a second, but if you own your own group, you can actually message everybody in the group once a week. Okay? Once a week, if you own a group, so say I was the owner of the SEOSEM social media group, once per week, I would be able to message everyone in that group, and LinkedIn will deliver my message for me. It will deliver my message into their inbox. It will deliver in their LinkedIn inbox. It will deliver my message to them also via email, and LinkedIn will deliver that email personally. And it is basically like having a huge um, email list that you can email once a week where LinkedIn delivers your email. Deliverability shoots up like crazy because LinkedIn is handling the delivery of that email. And as opposed to having to do a broadcast in some other way where there's spam filters and all kinds of things, now you're emailing through a huge corporation, a giant trusted social media site. You're using their mail servers to send your message out and to deliver that into the email inbox of your prospects, which is a huge, huge benefit. Also, folks get the daily digests, and let me show you the example of what a daily digest looks like. But folks get the daily digest of the groups they're a member of. Now, people can opt out of this, but a lot of people don't know how. And so people are just getting the daily digests of the groups that they're a part of. Let me show you what that looks like here. Um, Here's one of the groups I'm a part of here. Not my test profile is not, but my other profile, my Chad Kimball profile, is a part of this group, the Candy Snacks and Bakery subgroup. And you can see here, I get this every single day, this digest from the group. And especially if your group name, we're going to talk about naming your group, but if your group name has your brand in it, that means every single day they're getting an email with your brand or your name, if your name is in the group, um, every single day in their inbox. Also, if you're posting discussions in the group, even though you can't necessarily send them an email more than once a week through the group, if you're posting discussions, your name is going to be showing up down here in these discussions because you're the one that's posting new discussions every day, and we're going to talk about that too in the next session about discussions and moderation of groups and all that. But that's another way your name is constantly in front of them just because this is a group that you have created and that you are active in. Um, Also, any job discussions, any jobs, and this group has a lot of jobs in it, which your group probably won't be focused so much on careers and jobs. Um, but really, really powerful. So you get the daily digest, and and especially the nice thing is also if it's an active group and you have other people posting discussions, if your name is in the title of the group, people are getting a daily email, a daily digest that mentions your name or your brand every single day without you having to do actually posting of the content. In other words, when the group gets a lot of momentum, it's basically managing itself without any work from you, and people are still getting an email every day in their email inbox with your name, and it really sets you up as an expert because you are the moderator, the owner of the group. If you think about some of these groups like Wicked Fire, think about John, who's the owner of Wicked Fire. You think about Alan Says, the owner of Warrior Forum. We don't really know too much about these guys. We don't know how much they really know about internet marketing, but I would venture to say that probably everyone on here, if you're familiar or on one of those forums, that you have subconsciously in your mind the thought that this guy is an expert in internet marketing because he owns one of the biggest internet marketing forums out there. And so that's really how groups help you. One of the big ways they help you is because it sets you up as an expert, even if you're like marketing to, say, dentists or something like that. Just because you own the dentist marketing group, the group members are going to see you as an expert. So it's really, really powerful. Also, there's what's called the manager's choice. And let me go into a group and show you this looks like, but this means that you can choose as the group owner which posts you want to be featured on the group homepage. So when people log in, they'll see what we call the manager's choice. And let's look at this one, the convenience store news magazine group. And you see up in here, manager's choice. This, every time someone logs in, they're going to see this in the upper right. You can make your own. Now you can make other people's, obviously, the manager's choice, but what you do is you make your own posts the manager's choice. That means as people are discussing, they're coming in here to talk to others in the group, they are seeing your name and your post up here in the upper right as the manager's choice. So you get that additional exposure and traffic where they see your offers, they see your business, and most of all, they see your name, especially if you're doing consulting or you're selling a product. It sets you up even more as the expert. Okay, so that's the basics, really the big benefits of groups, and you'll see even more once I start to talk about your funnel, your sales funnel. You see even more of the benefits of these. Really, really powerful way to build up your business. And after these groups get really large, they start to show up in a lot of search results, and you start to get people joining your group without even having to promote it. We're going to talk about promoting your group and how to get it going. But once you really get it going, these groups have a life of their own, and they start to have tons of members coming in without you having to do any work, which for you means leads in your pocket. You can email them every week. There's autoresponders that it can send out for you, and I'm going to show you that feature in a minute. But it's a super powerful way to market to your prospects and to get new leads coming in without having to do any work. Okay, so let's talk about setting up a group, because that's really you can set up a group to function well and create leads for your business, or you can set up a group that's going to be a total time waster for you. So the way you set up a group is you go to interests up in the top, and anywhere in LinkedIn where you are, you can access this top menu. You click on groups. So then you're going to come to a page like this. It's going to list all your groups that you're a member of. Then over here, you just click on this create a group little link. Did you guys see that? It's up in the upper right here. And you just click on create a group right here in the upper right, and it's going to ask you for a bunch of options. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is your group name, because you can it's really important that you set up your group name properly, because this is what people see. LinkedIn, you can actually automatically invite people to join your group, but LinkedIn will send the invitation for you, and they'll automatically fill in the group name. So you need to be careful with what you make this group name, because this is going to be, especially if you're using groups for prospecting, this is going to be the first thing they're going to see, and you won't be able to change the group name in the automated messages that LinkedIn sends for you. So I recommend you set up your group with something like this: join now if ... Join now if you want to learn, and you put your benefit there. Join now to learn how to get more leads for your dental practice. Okay? It's kind of a weird name. Most people don't name their groups that, but you're putting the benefit and you're putting a call to action right in the group name. So that way, when LinkedIn sends out their automated message that says, hey, Chad Kimball would like you to join his group, and then there'll be a colon, a hard return, and then the name of the group. Join now to learn how to get more leads for your dental practice. It'll be the name, and it'll be a hyperlink. They can click right there and join your group. It's a really powerful thing. Then when they actually click on your group homepage in order to join, let me just show you. Go to the groups here. They're going to see it again. So this is what the homepage of your group will look like. But they're right up here at the top. They're going to see your big benefit. Join now to learn how to rank #1 in New York City. Say you're a local SEO consultant in New York. Join now. Join now to get to, increase the number of leads to your dental practice by tenfold. And they're going to see it right there, like a headline, almost like having a sales letter right there in big bold type. They're going to because they're going to format it for you, and it's a great way to make this like a little opt-in form. And then all they got to do is click that yellow orange button right there, and they become your lead that you can email and market to through the group. So that's really important that you make that be the name. Join now to, or join this group if you want to learn, or join now to learn. Join now to find the best business lawyer in your state. Join now to learn how to get your business ranked #1. Join now to increase your leads. Join now to, and whatever the hot button is there, that's what you want to make the title. Really important. Don't skip over that. Don't just create it. Don't just put something, that you're just inventing off your head. Put a big benefit and a call to action right there. You also might want to include a couple of keywords if you can fit them in to your group name. So you're going to want to use the autocomplete that LinkedIn offers you. You can see what types of keywords other people are typing in. So I just started typing search space E, and it completed search engine optimization. SEO, and I've put space, and I see, okay, what a lot of people are typing in here is SEO expert. You might think they would think SEO tools, SEO tips, SEO software. You might think some of those keywords might be being used in LinkedIn, but we could see here what LinkedIn is giving us is that people are typing in SEO expert. So if I had an SEO expert group, which I actually do, in the title there, I'd want to have SEO expert. And that way, when people search for SEO expert, my group is going to pop up in a little drop down, just like you see right here. So those are the two things you want to think about when you're naming your group: the big benefit, and try to squeeze some keywords in there somehow for the search. Okay, group type. I always just put professional group. If, according to your target market, you could choose a different group type. Say you're targeting corporations, you might want to put corporate group. If, say, you're an MLM or something like that, you might want to put networking group. But professional group really tends to cover everything, so I usually just keep it at professional group. Then the summary. This is what's going to appear in the group's directory. So in here, I usually put in these two boxes, in the summary and the description, I put my incentive. I try to always incentivize group membership. And so right there, I'll put a big headline that's big all caps, or you can even use different alphanumeric characters like this. Join and get a free video series, just to help it stick out. You can do that kind of stuff. It's text only, so you're kind of limited to what you can do. But I always in here put an incentive to join. You can see here this SEO, SEM, social media. There's really no incentive here. All they've done is basically try to jam pack it with keywords. But there's really no. It's just a huge paragraph. I mean, I have never. I mean, it's just like when you look at this, your eyes roll back and you don't want to even read it, right? The big benefit for this group is that it has 66,000 members, so that's why people keep joining it, which doesn't even need its own sales copy really. But when you're getting started, you're going to need to incentivize it, and so I would put an offer in here. You want the offer to match whatever offer you're sending out, and we're going to be talking about sending out offers to join your group in a little bit, but you want that to match whatever you're messaging people. So something that's worked great for me is I have my free Wikipedia course that shows you how to get 5,000 visitors from Wikipedia every week, getting traffic from Wikipedia, and it's something that not a lot of people know about. So I offer that free video course. It's got 5 videos, nothing required to buy. You get to watch the videos for free. All you have to do is join my group, and I have that right in here in this sales copy for the summary, it's a shorter summary that you can put in, and then the full description can be a lot longer, maybe have some bullets, stuff like that. For my bullets, I usually just use a dash, bullet 1, and you're just putting incentives. So for my video course, I'm going to have those bullets right there. Really important. Then for your website, you can put the website right there. If you have uh, a lead generation strategy already set up, I just put my Facebook page right in there. So for me, when people join the group, and I've said this in past courses, but when people join the group, it sends them to, not there, sorry, it sends them right here. And we actually have a little tool part of this course that lets you create these little Facebook opt-in pages. So, but I have this as my website. So that way, even if really you're supposed to have to join the group to get access to this content, but if someone says, I don't want to join the group, I'm just going to check out their website, and they click, boom, they still get the same offer. They still get sent to the same page as if they joined the group. Group owner email, you're going to put that on. Auto join. I would encourage you, especially if you're using this strategy to prospect and get new leads, you don't want to have users have to request and be approved by a manager. You're going to do auto join, which is what you want. That means anyone can join the group. They don't have to ask for you to approve them. They can just click on this join button right here, and instantly they have access to the group. Okay, so I would encourage everyone to do that, especially if they're using their group for lead generation. If you have a private group that's like a private membership, or maybe it's just people in a private mastermind, you don't want everyone to be able to join, then you could make it request to join right here. But for our purposes, we're talking about lead generation, so you want everyone to be able to join. It's going to be a lot less work for you. And later on, I'll talk about moderation in the next session. If you get people joining that are spamming your group and stuff like that, you can put them in moderation. But I like to have people join first and then put them in moderation later if they are spamming my group. Okay, and then you want to make sure display this group in groups directory is checked. Allow members to display their logo on their profiles. I let them do that as well. Send your connections a network update that you have created the group. So that's a nice thing. It'll automatically post on your update page, on your profile update, that you've created the group. And that's just a little extra promotion there. And then I also allow members to invite others to join the group, and that can help things to be a little viral there. I'll show you later, there's a little built-in area in every group where you can invite others to join the group, and you want people to be able to take advantage of that if they want to. Which, by the way, you can incentivize other people to actually join the group, to actually get an extra free gift if they invite others to join. It's a kind of a way you can have a mini little affiliate program for the for your group, and you kind of have to do it caveman style. They don't really have anything built in to track it, but you could tell people, hey, if you invite your contacts, 10 or more contacts, to join the group, just shoot me a message on LinkedIn, let me know you did it, and I will give you this free free coupon code for a certain thing, or free Google AdWords certificate, or free $50 free advertising on Google AdWords, or whatever kind of incentive you want to give them. But you could actually have other members promote the group for you, and make sure that box is checked. Okay, language, you want to have the target language of your target market. A location based in a single geographic location, so that's going to depend on your market as well. Twitter announcement. If your Twitter is connected with your LinkedIn, you can have this automatically send out an announcement to your Twitter, which I don't check. I like to do a custom announcement. And then you have to check to confirm that you have read and accept the terms of service. Okay, down here at the bottom, then we have two buttons, create an open group or create a members only group. You want to create a members only group because you want members to have to join. You want people to have to become members to see the content. If it's an open group, that means the group is open to the search engines. It's open to anyone on LinkedIn to view the content. And according to your own market strategies, you might decide, oh, I want my group to be open. I don't want people to have to join. But for me, I create a members only group because I want people to join. So what I'm trying to do up here in this description area is I'm trying to create an incentive and create some interest there that people would want to join, that people want to get in here and see this content. If I create an open group, then they don't really need to join to see the content. They don't really need to join even to get my incentive. And so that's why I like to force them to join as a member. You could test it out with your own target market and your own offer, depending on how you want to set up your group, but I really recommend create a members only group, the lighter colored button there. Okay, now we get to the next section, send invitations. Send invitations to your connections on LinkedIn or even other contacts who are not on LinkedIn. Recipients who accept your invitations will automatically become members of your group. You can also allow members to invite people to the group to help it grow faster. So right here, you can actually, and I had an outsourcer do this, but I had an outsourcer actually type in the name of every single connection that I have, and takes a long time, but and just to invite them all. And you can see here why having a benefit in the group name is so important, because look here. If you type in and have LinkedIn automatically invite all your connections, look right here. They're creating this for you. They're creating the subject line. You can't edit it. All right. So check this out. Melvin Higgins invites you to join. Join now to learn how to get more leads for your dental practice on LinkedIn. So you could actually, this part right here is the part that LinkedIn is the same for every invite email that LinkedIn sends. So you could actually say, Melvin Higgins invites you to join, and then you could say, you could call your group "Learn to get more leads for your dental practice on LinkedIn," and then it'll be just one smooth subject line. If you want to if you have an email list, you could actually invite them too right here. If you click Add Other Emails, and it'll open up this little white box, and you can actually paste in the contacts. These would be people that are not your contacts on LinkedIn. They'd be contacts that you know from elsewhere, like your Gmail or Outlook or some other address book. I'm going to show you an even better way to do this, though, folks, in just a second. It doesn't hurt to send this invite out to your connections. I will say, unless your connections are extremely untargeted. If you're a lion and you've got all types of connections from all over, this might be an unwelcome invitation. It might be seen as a spam type message. So you want to be really, I'm going to show you an even better ways to grow your group than this. But if your connections are relatively targeted, like say I have my own group on LinkedIn, and I already know most of my connections are pretty much interested in my SEO stuff. At least my main account where it's connected to my real name and my chatto.com business. So I invited everybody using this because I already knew my connections are pretty targeted, but your connections might not be. And so you need to think about the people you've been getting in as your connections. What strategy did you use to build up your connections list? If you used the lion strategy where you uploaded lion lists, 1,000 lions, and they all joined, and then their people saw you and they requested to connect with you, you're going to have all types of people as connections, and then you want to be careful with this strategy right here. But as long as your connections are targeted, you can do this. It doesn't hurt. We're going to send out invitations other ways as well, but it doesn't hurt for them to get multiple invitations. And then over here, you can also like Ron asked, can you load a text file into this box? And you can actually upload a file over here. If you click on this upload a file button, you can upload a file of email addresses all at once. So it doesn't hurt, but I'm going to show you it doesn't hurt. Especially these would be emails that actually know who you are. Okay, these are not strangers you're inviting. We're going to talk about inviting strangers to your group in a second. So these would be people that you're already connected with, people that are already your contacts. Okay, let's go back. And oops. All right, we're going to create members only group. Oops. So now it deleted all my stuff here. Let me just do this real quick, folks. Just going to fill this out real fast. This is not what I recommend you put in. Oh, your logo too. Up here, I forgot to mention that. Make sure that you think about this, what you want to do. If you want yourself to be the brand, like your face, say this is selling you, in the end, what your goal is for these people to become your clients or something like that, or for people to invite you to speak at their event or something like that, then you would want your own face, your own name is the brand. You want to put your face up there. That's what I've done. But also, if you have a company or you have a product or something like that, you can put your logo up there as well, and then that's some additional branding for you. Okay, I'm going to check auto join, English, and create a members only group. Oh shoot. It created my group. Hold on. Sorry, folks. I didn't think about it when I clicked that button. Okay, so then you're gonna invite your connections, provided that they actually know you, and then here we have your group is created. It's that easy. Now this is saying you have the option to switch to an open group. I don't want an open group. I want a closed group, so I'm going to click the X. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to have to set up your autoresponders. So what you're going to do is, actually we're going to click on Manage. And I'm just going to walk you through some of these settings once you've created your own group. Submission queue is if you have people in moderation. Okay, so like in my group, I have some people, they constantly spam my group with invitations to join their multi-level marketing company, and so their stuff always goes into moderation. Also, you can have this moderation queue is what other people that are moderators have flagged. So say someone posts something inappropriate and all your members flag it as inappropriate, it'll disappear from the main group discussion page and it'll appear right here in this inappropriate tab. People can also tag content as a promotion, or they can tag it as a job, and then you can move that stuff around wherever you want just by clicking move to promotions or move to jobs. And then what will happen is when people log into your group, they'll see, let me show you, they'll see all these tabs up here, and they can look in the promotions tab and they can see, oh, these are all the posts that recently got flagged as promotions. Some people might be interested in the promotions that the other group members are submitting, but it doesn't, that way it doesn't clutter up the main discussion tab, which is kind of a cool feature. Also, people that are posting jobs, if somebody's interested in getting a job and they're in your group, they could click on the jobs tab, and then everything that you've moved to the jobs tab would be listed there. So that's where that stuff is going to show up. And then request to join. So this is if you have people join your group that are not connected with you at all. At this point, this is where LinkedIn puts those requests. So the group is going to be open to everybody that you're first, second, or third connection with, and everybody that you're in a group with, everybody that's in your network. But if someone doesn't have any connections with you and is not in any groups with you, LinkedIn might, now I don't know if this is always going to be the exact criteria that they use, but at this point, anybody that's not in your network shows up in this tab, and you have to manually approve them to join your group. So it's yet another reason why you want to be connected with as many people as possible in your target market, because you want everyone in your target market, when they join your group, to be automatically approved. You don't want to be going in here and having to manually approve people. You don't want people to wait. If you've got them to that point, they see your offer, they see your incentive, they want to join your group, they want to see that content, they want to see what's inside there, they want to get more information about you, they see your brand on the group, and then they click to join, and then boom, then they have to wait. There's nothing like a momentum killer like having to wait to be approved. So it goes back to connections. Why? Even if your connections are broad, you might say, oh, well, I don't want my connections to be super broad. I want them to be super focused. But the problem with that is then when you create your group, everyone in your target market might not be automatically approved. So that's part of the benefit of having a big connections list. Okay, send an announcement here on the left. This is where you can send out your weekly announcement, your weekly email, marketing email, to the members of your group. And it's a real simple text-only message. If you put hyperlinks in that start with HTTP:// that will automatically be converted into a clickable link when they get the message. And then you can this will also post in the group discussion area itself. So it not only will it send out a message to their LinkedIn inbox, not only will it send a message to their email associated with their LinkedIn, but it'll also send a message. It'll also post that here in the discussion area. And if you check this, make this a featured discussion box, then it'll show up as a featured discussion up on top. Now, incidentally, yeah, so it'll show up right here when people log in. I know it's maybe hard to picture because we're starting a brand new group, so it's kind of empty, but incidentally, the nice thing about these groups is when they send an email for you, you automatically know that it's going to be an active email, because this is the email that they have signed up with LinkedIn using. This is actually the email address that's their username to sign into LinkedIn, is where they're going to get this message. So that's the nice thing when you're sending out to like an email list. So you have a big email list. Anybody who has a big email list knows that sometimes you get just a huge percentage that just bounces because they're old email addresses that people aren't checking or that people have deleted, they left the company, things like that, error messages. With LinkedIn, these are active emails that people are using because they're getting their notifications from LinkedIn using this email. Password resets and all that go to the same email, so you know it's an email that people can actually check, which is really powerful. That's why deliverability is so high, because you already have an automatic system set up to make sure that the message you're sending out goes to an active email. All right, and then right here, follow this announcement. This is basically just when you send out your announcement and when it gets posted to the discussion area, do you want a notification whenever anyone replies to it in the discussion area? So if you choose to post it in the discussion area right here, if someone replies to it, it clicks a comment, makes a comment on it, you'll get an email notification. So if you want to do that, you can even change the email right here if you want to do that. Okay. Send invitations. This is another way. If you didn't do the send invitations when you first set up the group, you can do it now. So you don't necessarily have to send your invites when you set up the group. You can do it at any time, which is what I did. I just set up my whole group, and then later on, after I got it going and I got some good content in there and some activity in there, then you can go in and send an invitation out to all your connections if you want to do it that way. Pre-approved people, that's really only relevant if you have a closed group, so I'm not going to talk about that now. Participants, this is where you can see everybody that is in your group, which is nice. You can message them, you can moderate them, you can do all kinds of stuff with those people. invited. This is useful because when up here, when you click on this Send Invitations tab and you invite people, they'll show up down here in this Invited tab. So you have a record of the people you have invited. And then it also helps you to see which people have responded and joined. So there'll be a different layout. See, I'm logged into my test account, so I can't show it to you, but there'll be a different layout. So, and the nice thing about inviting, you can invite pretty much unlimited people through this invitations tab. So if you have, for instance, an email list of people that regularly hear from you, they actually know who you are, you can import that whole list of 20,000, 18,000, 10,000 people using this Send Invitations tab. And, and they'll all appear directly in here, and you'll be able to see who from my email list responded and joined my group already and who didn't. And you might say, I already got them on email. Why would I want them to go on LinkedIn? The reason why is, say you invite them, say you invited someone a year ago and they joined your group. Well, since then, on your email list, their email has already died. They left that company. They don't have that email address anymore. But guess what? Guess which email address they update? Their LinkedIn email. So they might not be using that old email, but they're going to associate a new email address with their LinkedIn account. And so that's why you want to make sure that you get them, if you've got them on other places, like you've got them on Facebook or you've got them on email list, that you get them into LinkedIn as well, so that you can have that updated information. The other reason is you have so much more information about people on LinkedIn than you have on an email list or on a Facebook fan page. On a Facebook fan page, you might be able to go and see their profile depending on how public it is. But even then, their profile might just be pictures of them like working out at the gym and walking their dog, and like the YouTube video that they like, where they like to watch the kitten flush the toilet, stuff like that. Well, on LinkedIn, if they're in a group with you, you're going to be able to see their whole profile. You're going to see their connections. You're going to see where they work. You're going to see their position. You're going to see their activity feed, and all that stuff you're going to be able to see on LinkedIn is much more information than you would ever have in an email. And you can even search for people using the advanced search here. Let me show you. In any of the groups that you're in or groups that you own, see over here, join now to learn how to get more leads. I can search this group, and I can say I want to only search for people that are my first connections that also are in this group that I own, and I want only people that are located in or near Australia. And right there, or even a certain zip code, and I can start to really zero in on these folks and get much more information for sales purposes than I could ever get, and even then message certain groups of people that I could never have directly found and isolated as a subgroup. You might even want to create a subgroup that's only for people in Australia in a certain zip code that are part of your target market, and you might want to invite all of them to join a separate group, get them out into a separate group. And the nice thing is that information would be so hard to get via email, an email list, but on LinkedIn it's all built in for you. When I say a subgroup, actually you don't even have to make it a subgroup. You can just make it a separate group. Just when I say they do have subgroups, but I'm just saying you could create a separate group that's just for, dentists that are in Australia that are your connection and that are also a part of your group. And you could isolate those folks and just message only them and get them all in a separate group where you're promoting stuff to them related more to who they are. So that's more what I'm talking about. But I'll talk about subgroups more in a little bit later on. So let's go back to our management tab. Okay, so let's go down to group settings. Some recommendations for group settings. Now this is all going to be depending on how much work you want to put into it. I like to enable all this stuff. I like to enable people to create polls. I like to have a promotions feature. I like to have a jobs feature. It enables me to put stuff into those tabs. You could take those tabs out if you don't want them, but it lets me put stuff in other areas. It's kind of a kinder way to moderate. So say someone's spamming your group with MLM offers all the time. You could just put all their stuff in the promotions tab, and that way they still are a member and they don't feel like, man, I got banned from Chad's group. It's just that you're not really letting them post in the main discussion area. So I like to have those. Now this you could test in your own market, see how well LinkedIn does. You can let them move jobs and move promotions automatically, and this might save you some time. I would definitely check on this. Anytime you have this automated stuff going on, LinkedIn's going to be tweaking their algorithm, and they might be over blocking or under blocking, and so you want to double check that, but that can save you some time. You can also let other members flag stuff. And that's if your group's getting really out of hand and you have some active members, they can flag stuff. You can even make stuff, if it gets flagged one time, it gets moved and removed from the discussion area. Down here, permissions, I let people be free to post discussions, promotions, jobs, and comments. I like to just leave it open and then go in and moderate later. One of the hardest things is to get group activity really going, and so I don't want to limit people. If you find your group getting out of hand, you can say, people can post promotions, jobs, and comments, but they can't submit a main discussion topic. You could also say they can only post jobs and comments, and everything else you have to manually approve. Or you could say, I only want them posting comments, and I have to manually approve everything else. Or you could just shut your group down totally and make them submit everything for approval. So it really depends on what you want. I like to leave it open and then moderate later. This is kind of a nice feature too. Say if you find that people are joining your group and then immediately spamming you before you have a chance to moderate, you could tell people that you can require that anybody who joins the group can't post anything, say for 2 days. You could also say if they're a brand new LinkedIn member, they can't post right away. So that means people can't use software to generate fake accounts and post to your group until their account's 2 days old, or you could make it 5 days old, or whatever you want. You could even require moderation for anybody that doesn't have any connections. So these restrictions enable you to keep your group free of spam. Now this is really important because you're going to find if you let your group get filled up with spam, people aren't going to want to visit it. They're going to unsubscribe from those daily updates. And it's going to make your group less useful because when you want to contact the people, they're going to have already unsubscribed from your updates because it was so full of spam. They're not going to be interested in your group anymore, and they might even just leave the group if they get too much spam from it. So you definitely want to think about these restrictions so that you have it set up to make the group useful for people who are logging in. All right, so and we already said we're doing auto join, and this is where you can actually change this later on if you say you want to close the group down and make everybody have to request approval. I always have it open to join. I display the group in the groups directory. I allow members to display their logo, and I allow members to invite others. I'd rather have it be more open and get more activity later on. So those are your group settings. These are just, if you click on group information, this is just where you can change. You can actually change the name of your group 5 times. So this enables you actually to test out a few headlines for that title that I said, join now to get more leads. You can change that up to 5 times. That allows you some testing. This is basically what we already put in, but you can change it later if you want. You can have a rules tab, and you can enter the rules here, and I usually just inform people whatever rules you're going to have as far as moderation. Make sure people know what they're up against in the rules. A lot of people will come and read the rules before they participate just so they know. Now templates, this is a very, very powerful feature. Okay, this is your autoresponder built in to LinkedIn for you. Here, this is so powerful. So this, every time someone requests to join the group, even if your group is open, when they click on that join group yellow button right here that I showed you, join group, okay, it is going to send them this message. So this is all opportunities for you to market to people without having to actually send out any messages, and LinkedIn will send them automatically, and LinkedIn knows that you're sending out this message, okay? Now, here is a powerful technique. Let me show you here. I've got a little screenshot of this one because I grabbed it because I wanted you to see it. This is for the social media marketing. A lot of you folks are actually members of this. But if you look at this, when you request to join social media marketing, it sends you this message. Congratulations and welcome to the largest social media marketing group on the planet. To complete your membership, click here. Do you see what they're doing there? And then you've got a Infusionsoft link. You know what this does, don't you? This subscribes you to their email list. This is so powerful, folks. And this is also where you could put in you could deliver your free content through this message. And I love the way they've worded it, to complete your membership. Now, we already know, we're already members. If the group is open, they're already going to be a member of your group. They don't need to. But you're saying to complete your membership, this is what I would like you to do. And you're encouraging them to click on this link. And that way you can get them. You might want to put your Facebook page there and say, to complete your membership, click like on my Facebook page or something like that. This is where you can get some marketing, get them on some of your other lists. It's a great strategy if you've got people coming in, and especially once your group starts getting momentum, you're going to be getting people in that aren't connected with you at all yet. Maybe they're just a second or third degree connection. Maybe they just heard about your group, and you want them to get on your other lists on other places. And you could do that just by putting that link right there to your other offer. Now, the people in your group are going to get both of these messages at the same time, because when they request to join, they're automatically joined with the group. So they're going to get the request to join message, but they're also going to be automatically approved by LinkedIn, because that's the setting that I told you to set up. And you can also have a welcome message. And this is also where you can say, welcome to the group. Here's how the group works, and here is your free gift that I promised you for joining. That's where you can actually deliver, and just put a hyperlink to your website or to your Facebook page, wherever you've delivered that free content or that free coupon code or whatever. That way you're not automatically sending out the free stuff that you've promised them for joining your group. LinkedIn's going to deliver that for you. And you can see how the template setup works. It's very, very simple. You want to make sure, the only thing you want to make sure is check enable auto send. You want the message to be sent automatically. You don't want that. You don't want to have to go in and click a button to send that, and that's where you deliver. Again, it's text only, but if you put HTTP in there plus your website, it'll automatically format that as a live hyperlink. All right, now this is awesome. Decline message. You might decline people. Now, I open the group up to everybody, but you can even market through these. Hey, I don't think this group is right for you, but I've got this other group that is probably better suited group to you, and market some other group. But feel free to stay connected with me via email. Here's where you can subscribe to my email list, and you can market even via the decline and block messages. So all those things are under templates. It's kind of a weird word that they have, but templates is basically message templates that automatically go out. Now, down here, subgroups. This is where you could start to subdivide your group out if you want to keep them all under the same group. So you could have a dental marketing group, and then you could create a bunch of subgroups. You know, dental marketing New York, dental marketing Atlanta, dental marketing Los Angeles, just an example, where you could start to funnel people in and subdivide your connections and your prospects out depending on your own marketing strategy. So that's just I mean, creating a subgroup basically is the same process as creating a main group. It's just that this group will be categorized under as a subgroup of your group. Now, why would you want subgroups? Well, once you really get into prospecting on LinkedIn, you might find that you've run out of groups. So you've created a bunch of groups, and LinkedIn does have a limit on how many groups you can own. Well, then you can start to create subgroups, and that helps you get around that and add a lot more, actually own a lot more groups because you create subgroups. Okay, and Ron, with a place where you block people is down here under participants, and you can't see it because we only have one participant, but you can see you can block people here. You can change their roles. Obviously, the only member of this group I just created is me, but this is where those options show up to block people or to moderate people, to change their, you know, maybe you want everything that they submit to go into a moderation queue. That lets you change all that status stuff there. So that's just under participants. The owner's name and details are not public in a group unless you make them public. I mean, you're listed as the group owner, so whatever details you have posted as, you know, on your LinkedIn profile, people can go to your LinkedIn profile and see that, because remember, they're in a group with you, so officially they're in your LinkedIn network, so LinkedIn will show your information to them. But if you don't want to show that, if you remember in the previous session where I talked about setting up your profile, I talked about privacy settings. You can actually hide most of your information even from your connections on LinkedIn, so that people can't see who you are. If for some reason you're trying to hide that. So yeah, you can actually set up a group too and invite someone else to own it. Or you can change the owner. You can add managers. There's a lot you can do to hide your identity if you're trying to do that. You could create a group with a dummy account, and then maybe a dummy account that hardly has any information, and then have your own self as a manager of that group, and then you're just a group member, and people might not know that you're a manager. There's all different ways you can do that. I think most of the people on here are going to want to use a group to market themselves, or themselves as an expert, maybe the expert that created a certain product. So in that case, you'd want people to see your details. But if you're doing black hat stuff, you can create a group as an owner, then switch it over, or you can create a group with a dummy account and then have make yourself a manager, which is more like a moderator. That's not the owner, and that's one way you can sort of keep your anonymity. So that's down here, the change owner tab. If you click on that, you can actually give this. And actually, one of the strategies you could actually do is you could actually build up a whole following here for a client, and then you could actually, if they want to buy you out, you could sell them the whole group. Just make them an existing manager, and then you can make them the owner. Down here, you can delete the group if the group's going bad, and then down here is where you can create a subgroup. So that's basically the management area. If you click over here on the more, there's also settings. I want to talk about that really quick. You just click on more, and then you click on settings. And this basically tells you just some other privacy settings and things like that for the group. So on your profile, do you want your group to be displayed on your profile? You can check that and have that displayed. You can actually change the settings of how much email activity you're getting from the group. Most people, everyone else will have this settings tab, okay? So other people can actually unsubscribe from the digest. By default, it's going to send a daily digest, and it's going to be set on daily digest. Most people won't know how to change this. So that's the big advantage of owning a group, is people that just join your group, they're not going to know, how do I unsubscribe from these things? They're automatically going to be getting messages from you. And if your content is good, then that's going to be good for you. But this is where you could actually change, in any group actually, or your own group, how much information you're getting. And you can change it to daily or weekly. You could unsubscribe totally from it. Also, people can unsubscribe from allow the group manager to send me email. most people, again, don't know about this, that they can do this. Most people are going to leave this checked by default, so you'll be able to send them email and they'll be able to receive your weekly announcements. They can also uncheck allow members of this group to send me messages, but most people leave that checked. So that's what allows us to use that loophole, group messenger loophole software, is that most people will leave this checked and they will be receiving messages from that software for you. All right, a couple of other things I want to show you. A great example of a welcome email. So let me just open this up for you. It's another screenshot that I got. This is from Ryan Dice. You can see a great example of how he's getting people. Now, I would pitch people. I would do a little more copywriting here, but you can see, thanks for taking an interest in joining my group. Now, by the way, this is a welcome email that I got. I was not approved for this group. I think it was for some private product, but I just joined up to just see what he had going on Tumblr. I mean, on LinkedIn. But so this is actually the email I got just by requesting to join. I didn't even get this email because he approved me, because he never approved me. Actually, I don't really know Ryan, so he probably thought, who's this guy? But you can see, even if he doesn't approve me for his group, I'm still getting a marketing message from him where he's inviting me to enter a contest and win an iPad. He's got his personal blog there. He's got his Twitter and his driving traffic. I personally would not give this many options to people. I have a specific funnel I want people to follow, and that's what I would encourage people to do in this message. But it's a great example of just a friendly message. I would also take this hi out. Anytime you see hi, comma, immediately what registers in your mind is, oh, they don't know my name, right? Because otherwise they would say hi, first name. So I would just take that out and just have it start with, thanks for taking an interest in joining my group here on LinkedIn. And then it's not so obvious that this is a broadcast email that everyone gets. Okay, let me see. I think I had one more thing I wanted to show you before we move on here. Any questions? Any questions on what I've presented so far? All right, I'm going to give you some sample text for, we're going to go back to manage, and I'm going to give you some sample text for these templates because just to make it easy for you, we're going to create a template here. One thing I always encourage people to do is just thank people. Thanks for joining my group. As a special, always start off here as a special bonus for being a member. You get access to, and then that's your delivery. That's where you deliver your free content, your coupon code, or whatever. That's how my personal funnel works. Is I get them onto my email list here. Because I say, hey, you can get this, just click on this link, but then actually they have to take another step to subscribe to my email list to get the free content. If you are a consultant, you could say, as a special bonus for being a member, you get a free SEO analysis by me. I usually charge, and then you could say I usually charge over $400 for this or whatever. To set up an appointment, click here. And then what I really encourage you to do is to use time trade. This would be for consultants that your goal is to get people on the phone and to actually talk with them. Use time trade. Okay, and time trade, the awesome thing about time trade is that time trade will automate for you the setup of scheduling an appointment. So this is what it'll look like when they go. they'll have um, a little box here where they can opt in. It will also show a calendar of available appointments for, say you're giving them a free consultation. It'll set up a calendar where you can actually enter the times when you're available to do these consultations, and all they have to do is click on the time in the little calendar, and it'll automatically schedule their appointment for you, follow up with them, remind them of the appointment. You can put in your details there of how you're going to actually make the connection. Um, And the nice thing about that is you don't have to go back and forth via email with people. Hey, what about this time? Oh, give me 3 times. How about this time? Are you available this time? Oh, no, I can't do it then. They right away just see, here's all the available slots. They get to pick one and they commit right away to that consultation. That if you're doing a free consultation / sales appointment or something like that. Now, I'd encourage you folks to get the professional version. If you go up to products, you can get the professional edition, and you can actually try it out with a 30-day free trial. So once you get your group set up and you start getting prospects, I would definitely just try out Time Trade. It's 30 days free. You might want to maybe downgrade to personal if you find out professional is too expensive for you. But you can still set up appointment setting and everything using the free personal edition, but I'd encourage you guys to get the professional, especially if you're making money off these folks. And if you go to, I'll send you all the link here, but if you go here, you can see the difference between the professional and the free version here. You know, with the free version, you can only do 5 appointments per month. So if you're getting a lot of leads, which you will be once you set up your group, you're going to need to go up to the professional. $50 a year, if you think about it, is really worth the time you're going to save going back and forth via email trying to schedule appointments. And it can be discouraging for prospects if it takes them, 3-4 days of replying to emails just to get a time scheduled with you. It's nice if they can just log in, they can see the calendar of available slots, and they can just sign up right there. The other thing you can do, which is nice about Time Trade, is it actually syncs with your Google Calendar. So if you use Google Calendar, right away it will say if you schedule, say you have like every afternoon free appointments set up, and then you put something on your Google Calendar for an afternoon, like go take my son fishing. Well, automatically Time Trade will sync with your Google Calendar, and it will remove that open appointment from your Time Trade calendar. So that way you're not having to constantly update your Time Trade calendar. It'll make sure that you don't double book anything. It'll always check your Google Calendar before it presents options to people. The other thing about the professional version is you can do custom logo branding, which just looks a little more professional when people are setting up an appointment with you, who you're a big wig consultant or whatever. You want to make sure that the branding is custom. Okay. So set up with Time Trade. So that's one option. The other thing you do is, say if you have a, let me go back here to my template. Say if you have a sales team, or you take calls all the time, like say if you're selling like really high-end stuff, you might actually just take these calls yourself, and you could just forget the special bonus. You could just say, call me. Thanks for joining my group. I like to personally connect with everyone who joins my group. Would you call me at 444-444-4444? Or you could say, I like to personally connect with everyone who joins my group. Would you call my assistant at, and then have someone manning that phone number who can maybe do a little pre-selling for you, set up an appointment to talk to you. It's always looks really prestigious to have a real assistant there. Or you could just have them email you. You really need to think about, what action do I want them to take? What's my sales hopper? And make them, encourage them, push them, pitch them to do that action. I would not in here put buy my product, okay? Because then it's just going to turn them off right away. You don't want to have in there your product or a sales link or anything like that. You want to get them into some kind of a hopper that's going to pitch them and encourage them and build trust so that they'll buy your product later on. Now, if you're doing black hat stuff and you're just trying to just churn and burn, and you're generating tons of groups and tons of group, maybe you just want to pitch people right away and use these autoresponders to pitch, but it's not really what these are built for, so it's going to probably turn people off. I wouldn't even put your product in your group title. I know Sam had asked a question about that. Should we put in the group title something like, let me move this over here so you can see. Should we make this group title, instead of get more leads, should I put how to market your business with and then your product name? I wouldn't even put that in there. Really, what you're trying to get here is a shy yes. These are people, they might be your connections, they might even not be your connections. You want them to opt in, you want them to give you their information. If they see right off the bat, oh look, this group is all about selling this product, they're a lot less likely to join the group. You want to give them something they want. Answer a question. Scratch the itch that they have and tell them, I can scratch this itch for you inside this group. That's what you want, because then once they've joined, then you have an opportunity to sell them things and stuff like that because you've got their personal information. But if you turn them off right away, where they think, oh, if I join this group, I'm going to get pitched, then you're going to be, your group's not going to be as effective for long-term sales. Okay. I mean, if you have a sales team, you could even put in this message that, could you call my assistant at, and then have that phone number, and the number goes straight to the sales team. Obviously they need to be trained. People coming off a LinkedIn group, this is what they're expecting. So it really depends on your team, but there's all sorts of different things that you could do with this. Okay, let's talk about managing the group, because there's a couple of just best practices when you have a group that you need to do. And Gina, this will answer your question about how often do you post to groups. I would, starting out, I would post, and you post to your own group the same way any other member does, just right here. You just click here, you start a discussion. It'll let you can see there the numbers, it'll let you do 200 characters here, and then you've got to go down here and add more details. You can even add a link by clicking that add a link button. I found actually this add a link sometimes doesn't work that well. It's sometimes it doesn't lead people to the right place, so make sure when you use this add a link feature that it's actually taking people to where you want. But I would post something once a day to start until your group really gets going. You want to post something once a day, maybe even more. I mean, it really depends, but you want the group to look lived in. You want it to look like there's a lot of great content in there. You're not posting, you're not selling though. Okay? You are just giving away good content. It might not even be stuff you wrote. Okay, this is just when you're getting the group started. You're going to want to post good articles that are relevant to the target prospect that they would want to read, useful tips, things that you've read out there, and I would recommend outsourcing all this. I mean, this is going to be a lot of work to get it started, so I would recommend someone else line up content for you and to get that discussion going. Now, if you have a lot of connections, like for instance, when I started my SEO group, I had a lot of connections already that were all really targeted, so I just invited everybody to the group, and pretty much right away it got filled up with useful content, and I didn't have to do this. So it depends on how active and engaged your target market is with you, and you might just be able to invite some people to the group and have it just take off right away without you having to do this. But for a lot of groups, you need to get in there and populate it with content every day. And here is how you can do that. you can use Google Alerts. Okay, and this is a great way to do it because then this really decreases your amount of time that you spend. So let's say you have an SEO group and you know that the hot topic right now is penguin. This is sort of old news, obviously, but I'm going to just make my search query penguin SEO. And you can see right here that you can see, well, here's the types of searches that are going to come to me. And you can say specifically the types of results that you want. Like say you want to have blogs or everything, you can choose. How often do you want this Google alert? If you're posting content every day to your group, you could say, I just want this once a day. And that way, once a day, Google will deliver you, they'll deliver a email to you containing the best search results for this keyword phrase, and you can just go scan that email really quick every day and just post a new piece of content in your group. It's going to take you 10-15 minutes tops. You don't have to do a bunch of searching, anything like that. You might have to tweak your Google alert a little bit just to get the exact type of results that are most useful to you, but this is a great way to do it. You can have Google choose only the best results, and you can choose which email you want it to send the update to, and there you go. And the nice thing is then you can actually have stuff every day delivered to you to post, the top news in your niche or whatever. So that's what I would do to get started. Post something every day, even every other day maybe, but every day you want people coming back every day to the group saying, man, when every time I come in this group, it's got new content that I love and that I want to read. And you're going to get really active members then, at least until your members start creating their own content. Now you can actually pre-schedule out, and even if you get even if you have a lot of groups and you want to automate even more, you can actually use Hootsuite. And Hootsuite will actually allow you to pre-schedule. It'll connect with your LinkedIn group. It'll actually allow you to pre-schedule content going out for you, and you can pre-schedule it out over time, and you can see there are different plans here. But Hootsuite's a great way to customize it. I'm not going to go through Hootsuite and all the ways to use it, but just to let you know, if you really have a bunch of groups and you end up with a lot of content you're trying to get posted, use Hootsuite, because you could actually every week spend 20-30 minutes filling up Hootsuite, and Hootsuite will actually set up a queue for you, and then Hootsuite will actually post into your group the new content every single day for you, so you're not having to log in and do that and come up with that content every day. So it's a great way to do it. If you look here, the Pro, if you click Get Started Now, then they actually show you it's only $9 a month for the Pro. I mean, it's so cheap. If you compare to the amount of time it's going to save you in scheduling and automation, it's a big name in the industry. It's been around for a while. It's a great option, but if you even want to just get started, you can start with up to 5 social profiles for free. And obviously this won't work for having any kind of team members helping you out. You don't get vanity or custom URLs at all. Anything like that, but still you could get started with a Pro account. If you're really scaling this up and you've got tons of groups, tons of LinkedIn accounts, you want to go with the Enterprise. It is a little more expensive, but that's an option for you. I think for most folks on this call, the Pro version, $9 a month, is going to be more than enough for what they need. So I would recommend you doing this if you're really getting into groups. It'll save you tons of time. You can have your staff go in there and preload content for you. You can even just email your staff, say, hey, put this into Hootsuite for the next day where we don't have something scheduled, and just forward the email over to them, and then you don't even have to bother logging into the group at all to post content. Okay, another thing you need to do is I encourage you to go over to your favorite domain registrar and register a domain name that is a short and easy name for your group, and then forward it to the group address. So if you go over here to More, and you go down here and you click on Group Profile, say you're logged into, right now I'm logged into the group that I created. This URL, this big long thing up here, is the address, the public address of your group. For anyone who's logged into LinkedIn, if they click on this link, this will get them to your group's homepage, which if they're not a member, it'll look something like this. All right. Now, you don't want to use this though. You want to have a shortened URL. So I would have get more leads, LinkedIn group.com, or something, even maybe something smaller than that, getdentalleads.com or dentalleadsgroup.com. These are the email, this is the domain name that you're going to put in your emails. Actually, in a lot of the strategies I'm going to teach you next week for building up your group membership, you're going to need a short URL to put in there. So this is what I recommend. You don't have to do this if you're on a shoestring budget, but it's a great way to make the group look more attractive with a custom domain name. You can put that domain name anywhere. You can put that domain name in your on your social media profiles, your Facebook, your Twitter. You can put it as a email signature for every email that you send out, every support request that goes out. You have the group on there, and it's just an easy domain name that you can use for that to help people remember, and that way they don't have to type in this big long thing every time they want to visit your group. And it sells. You can actually sell them in the domain name rather than having this big ugly URL that LinkedIn gives you. Okay. Ron asks, can you redirect a subdomain? Yeah, I don't know though. It depends on the registrar. I mean, I encourage you to just use a registrar that has, check, if you already have a website, first check with your existing registrar and see, do they offer free domain forwarding? You shouldn't have to pay for that. You're going to register a domain, it's going to be 10 bucks, something like that. If you've got a registrar that's going to charge you to forward that domain to a custom URL, go find a different one. It shouldn't cost you any money. I believe you can redirect subdomains as well, but obviously that's going to depend on the registrar. That might require a hosting account as well. But that, I know where you're thinking there, Ron. I know you're thinking of like having multiple groups, then you could have a subdomain, and you could just use that subdomain over and over and over and forward it to various groups. So Ron says Namecheap allows this, so you guys might want to check out Namecheap and use them for your forwarding. But yeah, there's a lot of registrars that allow free forwarding, so that shouldn't really be a problem. You shouldn't even have to bother with web hosting or anything like that. You're just going to forward them directly to your group. Okay, now I'm going to talk about, if you have any questions about what I've presented so far, go ahead and ask, but I'm going to talk a little bit about strategies for growing your group, and I'm going to talk about my favorite strategy right now, which incidentally is also a strategy that you can use to grow your connections. You'll see when I show it to you, but I love this strategy because it allows you to do gray, semi-gray, maybe even black hat stuff with your LinkedIn account without ever risking it at all. There might be a slight risk, but the risk is very, very small to your LinkedIn account at all, and it really allows you to scale this. What you're going to do is go to Network, go to Contacts, And LinkedIn, actually, if you scroll down to the bottom, allows you to export your connections. Okay, see right here. I find this is a much better way to actually invite people to your group. Export your connections, and it's going to export them as a CSV file. It doesn't really matter what format as long as it's a CSV. You want to export these, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have a big list of emails, email provider, like icontact.com or oneshoppingcart.com, and import that list to the email provider of your choice. I know a lot of people might like MailChimp. MailChimp is a very complicated way to do this. It's very difficult to import emails and message them. The nice thing about iContact and OneShoppingCart both, but especially iContact, both of them are going to require, if you export an email list of emails and then you import it into their service, they are going to require double opt-in, which means they're going to require that they send out a message first that says, hey, so-and-so requested that you join this list. If you want to join this list, click this link. If you don't, do nothing and you won't hear from us again. The nice thing about this is that OneShoppingCart and especially iContact both allow you to customize the message that goes out. Now, OneShoppingCart, I believe, has to approve the message. I believe Aweber does too. They require the message to be approved. I don't know about iContact, but the nice thing is, in that confirmation email, you're going to invite them to join your group. iContact even lets you add other URLs to the email other than the confirmation link. So if you're doing heavy email marketing, this is a big bummer. People say, oh man, if I import emails, it's going to ask me to confirm them, and then I'm going to, people aren't going to click the confirmation link, and I'm going to lose all these subscribers. The nice thing is with LinkedIn, it doesn't matter, because the main reason why you're sending them the email is to get them to join your group. So what I encourage you to do is invite them using the built-in invitation function that I showed you earlier, but also export your contacts and invite them through email to join. This is probably the mildest version of this technique, and I'm going to show you a lot more, maybe some versions of this that are even more on the edge. So join me and my schemes here as we go a little deeper and take this to a whole different level. Now, let me say one thing about the email that you send. I would encourage you to say in the email, so you're going to set up an email list with OneShoppingCart or iContact, and you're going to customize the confirmation email that they send out. But in that email, make sure you send as customized an email as you can. So this is where we get into trying to get as personal as we can. So let's say that these folks are your connections, and that's all you know about them. You exported all of your connections over here, and you are sending out a message to all of your connections. So you don't know anything about them other than that you're connections. They might not even be a part of your target market. This is where, if you use LinkedIn's system to invite them, and say you click over here and you click send connections, and you just invite all your connections, and say your connections are a very disparate group of people. They're all types of different people. They're not really part of your target market. Some of them just joined to increase their network. They don't even want to hear from you. This is where you can get into the danger zone a little bit with LinkedIn. And I showed you on my sales letter, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there were screenshots of all kinds of people that got banned from LinkedIn doing white hat activity like this. You would think if LinkedIn allows you to invite your contacts, you would think that you wouldn't get in trouble for doing it. But if a lot of people say, this guy's spamming me to join his group, all I did was connect with him, I didn't want him to send me messages, and LinkedIn starts to hear that type of thing, which is possible. It didn't happen to me because my own connections all pretty much knew me. I got them all off my email list and off of Facebook, and they were already my followers. If they, you know, the main people that requested to connect with me were already following me online. So those folks all loved my group invitations, and I just invited everybody. But if you're using other methods to grow your contacts, like Lion lists and things like that, these folks probably don't want to hear from you, and that can endanger your LinkedIn account. But if you go over here and do it through email, it doesn't even matter. So you go in, say you create an iContact list, and you blast the email addresses of every single one of your LinkedIn contacts with the invite to join your group. And say you get a bunch of spam complaints. And say worst case scenario, probably not going to happen. Worst case scenario, iContact says, we're going to shut down your account. You have so many spam complaints. No big deal, right? The reason why, it didn't affect your LinkedIn account at all. You were inviting them to your LinkedIn group, but it didn't affect your LinkedIn account one bit because it's a completely separate platform, completely separate company. iContact and LinkedIn don't talk to each other. So you were able to blast out an invite to a really disparate group of people, and you use that confirmation email. It's supposed to be a confirmation to subscribe, but you're using that to get people to join your group. So it really doesn't matter if they never subscribe to your list at all, because your main goal is to get people over on your group. Now, the nice thing is, if this all goes well, and if you do this right, you'll also end up with an email list on iContact of people that liked you enough to double opt in. And even some of the biggest name marketers out there right now do not have double opt-in lists. They have single opt-in lists. So you're going to be in a great position with people that are wanting to hear from you via email, so much so that they double opted in via confirmation message. Now, you could use a dummy account for this that's disconnected from you. It really depends on, we're going to get into some little darker versions of this in a second, where you definitely would want to be using a dummy account that's not connected with you personally. But the thing is, there's so many email providers out there. Like someone else mentioned SendReach. I don't know anything about SendReach, if they'll do this, but there's so many email providers out there that will host an email list for you. Even if iContact says, we're banning your account, we never want to do business with you again, you could pick up this strategy really easily with another email provider that does the exact same thing. Again, customize the confirmation email, the double opt-in email, and get people to join your group. So you know, I don't know if it's something where you want to be real careful. These email providers are small players. They're not, getting banned from one shopping cart is not nearly as intense as getting banned from Facebook or Google AdWords or LinkedIn. These big companies that own so much of the market share, you really want to stay on their good side. You know, one shopping carts, the iContacts, the AWebers of the world are a dime a dozen. So that's the nice thing about this strategy. You're not risking your own identity on a major social site with tons of market share, because you're getting around that doing it with an email provider. So, and the little loophole there is just that they're expecting you to use the confirmation email to try to get them to join your list. You're using the confirmation email to get them to join your LinkedIn group. So you're really sidestepping the whole process and using it for a different purpose altogether. Now, here's what you want to do, though. In this email, make sure you say, I thought you'd be interested in this group because we're connected on LinkedIn. You want to say something personal. I got your email address from your LinkedIn profile because we're connected on LinkedIn. And I thought you'd be interested in my group. If you already sent them an invite through the automated send invitations feature here on LinkedIn, you can also say, hey, I also sent you an invite through LinkedIn itself, but I wanted to make sure that you got the invite, so I thought I would email it to you as well. Let me know. If you can, now this really will depend on, so you want to customize it, you want to say why you're emailing them, you want to say how you know them and where you got their email address, make it as personal as you can. Depending on the specific email provider, you might be able to even get first name in there as well. It depends. Okay, so you're going to export this file and you're going to get a CSV file and you're going to get a lot of information in that file. It really depends on the specific provider that you go with, and hopefully you can even get first name in there as well, which would be even more powerful because then they're getting an email with the first name saying, hey Chad, we're connected on LinkedIn. I sent you an invite on LinkedIn, but I wanted to shoot it to you on email as well just to make sure you got it. I've just created this LinkedIn group and I'd love to have you come and join. All of that you can do, and you haven't even gotten them to confirm the email list yet. You're just using that confirmation email as an excuse, as a way to message them. So can you see, this is a very valuable strategy for all types of LinkedIn activity, all types of LinkedIn promotional activity. Exporting your contacts and messaging them that way, that's probably the cleanest version. But it's a way you can mass message all types of people about your LinkedIn account, about your LinkedIn group, and stay very safe. You could even use this to invite people to connect with you on LinkedIn. Say if you've got a massive number of email addresses that you scraped somehow, and this is getting more into the black hat, especially those of you that are advanced members that can go and use our advanced scraper that can scrape hundreds and hundreds of email addresses in your niche. You could go and scrape these emails and then message them and say, hey, I got your email address from your LinkedIn profile, and I thought I would shoot you a quick email to invite you to my LinkedIn group. And that can all be in that confirmation message that One Shopping Cart sends out, or that MailChimp sends out. This is even better than using proxies. I mean, we talked in the first session a lot about using proxies, hiding your IP address from LinkedIn, having dummy profiles and multiple profiles and trying to hide your activity. This is even better because everything you're doing LinkedIn marketing, but all your aggressive black hat or gray hat stuff is completely outside LinkedIn's platform and they can't see it at all. So it's you won't be, now don't be an annoying spammer with this, okay? Try to be really personal, tell them how you're connected, that you're a LinkedIn connection, or you saw them on LinkedIn and you noticed they were interested in XYZ niche. You got their email from their profile and thought you'd send them an email. Give some kind of introduction like that. Tell them the story of how you're connected and make the message. Don't just spam your CPA offer to them or something like that. And if you're not an annoying spammer with this, you'll do very, very well with this. So you can see how, yeah, Ron, I would not use your HostGator autoresponder. If you have a HostGator autoresponder, I would not use that for this strategy because really you're sending unsolicited emails. Officially, legally, you're sending a confirmation email asking them to join your list, but in that confirmation email, you're pitching something. So theoretically, it could be construed, and so you want to be careful with that. I would not use your HostGator because if you have a HostGator autoresponder and you get a lot of complaints, your main sales site is hosted there, you could end up getting that site in trouble or that IP address in trouble. So you don't want to. You want to be careful there. But so for those of you that have the advanced course, or even if you saw my free video on here where I talked about a free email scraper where you could scrape email addresses from LinkedIn accounts and then request that they connect with you. So for those of you, I don't know if those of you that remember this, but I'll send this out to everybody. In that video, there's a free, for those of you that aren't advanced customers, there's a free email scraper that will scrape email addresses from LinkedIn. And you could do this exact strategy with them. You'll have to run the software more because it scrapes a limited number of emails per run. The advanced software we have is just uses CAPTCHAs and proxies to scrape tons of emails. But you can watch that video, and the nice thing then, in that free video, I say, hey, scrape the email addresses and then use them over here to import. I don't know if you remember that, but I said go here, click add connections, click on any email, invite by individual email, or upload a contacts file, and that was going to say let LinkedIn send out the invite email. But that can get you in trouble with your LinkedIn account if you're scraping emails and they really don't know you at all. But if you're going off LinkedIn to invite them to connect with you, LinkedIn will never know that you are sending these messages out. And in fact, you can say, hey, I got your email address off of your LinkedIn profile. I noticed we're both interested in XYZ market. I thought we would make a great connection. Here's my LinkedIn profile. Or even just say, hey, could you request, if you're interested, request to connect with me. I think we'd make a great connection. And that can all be done off LinkedIn. They'll never know about it. I mean, obviously, theoretically, someone could report you or something, but LinkedIn doesn't have any control over what you do on other platforms. So you can use this to build up your groups. You can use this to build up your connections if you're trying to get more connections. And this is such a powerful strategy. All right. Let me just send this quick chat. Okay. You could do this on a very, very large scale without much risk to your LinkedIn account as well at all. You could even use the email scraper to locate people that are in a specific group. So we know that SEO, SEM, social media, digital search, and internet marketing group has 66,840 members. So what we do is we highlight the name of this group, we click copy, and then we go over to Google and we do a search in quotes with that group. We've got 41 people in that group. Whose profiles have been scraped by Google, and Google has also scraped the part of their profile that shows them in that specific group. Okay, then you can use the scraper. If you put this into the email scraper software, you can actually scrape all the emails that are publicly displayed on members of this group. Now this would be smaller batches because we got only 41 results, but still you could send out batches of 40 or have an assistant send out batches of 40 emails using one shopping cart. You scrape those emails from these LinkedIn profiles, and then you're sending them this message. I notice we're both, now first you have to join the SEO SEM social media group, but then you'd say, I notice we're both in the SEO SEM social media group. I got your email address from your LinkedIn profile, and I thought I would invite you to my group, which has very similar content. Or you can say something like, I noticed a lot of the people in the SEO SEM social media group are also in my group, so I thought I'd send you a personalized invitation to join my group. You'll be pre-approved if you click on this link. Do you see how this works? But you're sending them that message through the one shopping cart confirmation email in batches of 40. Some groups, if you do this search with the email scraper, you're going to find tons more emails publicly available that have been scraped from the Google search results, and you don't even have to do any of it inside LinkedIn at all. In fact, I'd encourage you, when you do this process, make sure you're logged out of LinkedIn, and you might even want to do it from a virtual machine or behind a proxy, so that LinkedIn doesn't have a record of your IP address hitting their site at all. And then you're sending them a message off LinkedIn to save your account from getting into trouble. So you could also use this to get connections. Let's say you want to add connections from the SEO SEM social media group. You could send them a message like this. Again, you're going to scrape their email using our email scraper or using the free scraper that I talked about here. And then you're going to send them this message. I noticed we're both in the SEO SEM social media group, and we're both interested in SEO. I thought I would reach out to you because I thought we'd make a good connection. And that's all the message says. Then you have a link to, here's a link to my LinkedIn profile. You click on it. The nice thing is, right away, you've invited them, you've pre-qualified them, you've told them a little bit, a little bit about who they are. I know you're interested in SEO, we're both in this group, and here is my LinkedIn profile. You haven't sold them anything, you haven't pitched anything. It's a real low-key email just asking to connect. You can use this for a lot of different purposes. Now, this isn't the only way to grow your group, but this is a big way that you can do it. You can scale it very, very huge, and you'll never run into LinkedIn's limits of impressions, because you're doing all the scale of it that you're doing off LinkedIn, so you never hit your impression limit. Your messages no one clicks on the spam button from your messages. No one clicks I don't know you, because they can't. You didn't actually send them an invitation. All you did was say, hey, let's connect, and you sent them an email off of LinkedIn. So these are great ways to scale what you're trying to do without having to risk your email account without having to risk your email account at all. So it's a really powerful way to sort of go around the LinkedIn limits. Now, here's a way you can scale this even larger. Don't even bother with the software. Don't even bother trying to run scraping software and try to figure out how to scrape and how to hide your IP address and all that. All you need to do is outsource the entire job. Then you don't have to worry about anything. There's tons of expert web scrapers offshore, especially on freelancer.com, on elance.com. These folks, if they know Perl or they know Python or Ruby on Rails or something like that, doing this task for them is a piece of cake. In fact, you're going to get it done so cheaply. For them, they don't even need to speak English that well. Then their IP address is at risk. Your IP address never hits LinkedIn. It never does any scraping. It's all done offshore. They're responsible to figure all that out, and you don't even have to worry about it. And you can tell them, I want a list of 10,000 emails. Tell them how many emails you want. Let them bid on that job, and then you don't have to worry about, oh man, I got to run this software for like 300 hours straight to get 10,000 emails. You can have 10,000 invites going out to people via one shopping cart or iContact or something like that, invitations to your group or invitations to connect with you via email, and you never risk anything because you have not done the scraping yourself. You can even scrape within groups. So remember how I showed you earlier, when you go to a group, you click on more, and this works on any group, and you click on group profile, any group that you're in, you copy that, and you give them this URL right here, the outsourcer offshore. You give them this URL, and you say, I would like you to go to join this group on LinkedIn, and scrape every single person that is a member of this group. Scrape their LinkedIn profile, and I want any of them that have an email address, I want the email address in a list. I want 10,000 emails. Let the outsourcer, let the person offshore figure it out. These folks can do this in their sleep. They're going to write a custom scraper, and they're going to get it done so fast and cheaply. You can even tell them that you want first and last name. You can even tell them you want first, last name, and phone number. Whatever fields the email provider will allow you to import and include in your confirmation email message that you're sending out, ask for that. That way you can customize that confirmation email with first name, last name, address, whatever information they can get for you. Let the scraper figure that out themselves. Let me give you some examples. Here's an Elance. Now, Elance tends to be a little more expensive, but let me show you here some examples of people that are doing this and what they have charged. So here we have LinkedIn group scraping. This is exactly this. Now, you don't even necessarily have to scrape groups. You could ask the outsourcer to scrape use any criteria that you want. I want every person on LinkedIn. I want you to scrape LinkedIn profiles that have the word SEO in them in the title. They can scrape real specific information. These guys could actually scrape. They can pull out different fields. So they could say anybody that has the word SEO in this area of their LinkedIn profile, meaning in their title they have the word SEO. I want you to scrape those and then pull out any that have an email address, and I want a list of first name, last name, email of those people in a CSV file. These guys can do it so easily. Let me go back to my Elance so I can show you. So here we have an Elance job. LinkedIn group scraping. This person has done this exact thing. Budget less than $500. Okay, so you should be paying way less than that. This is recently, July 16th. So this is just last month. And you can see here some of the bids. Now these bids are sealed, but it does tell you where was that? You know what? When I looked at this before, I must have been logged in. If you log into LinkedIn, you can see this sample, but the bids were between 20, I think it was between like 20 and $100. So even as low as 20 bucks, you were able to get this done on Elance. Now, Elance is actually the more expensive, usually a little more expensive. Let me show you one on Freelancer that tends to have a lot more offshore people. They don't have stateside people or Western people really driving up the price. But if you look at this one, right away you can see LinkedIn Targeted Groups Email Scraping Harvester. Right here at the top, look how cheap they got this done. Bluebird Soul completed this project for $30. Now, if you're thinking about spending 100 hours scraping email addresses, man, skip going out to eat one night this week and get yourself a bunch of emails to invite to your group. 30 bucks. Here's the project description. Now, average bid was 44, okay? So the bids were between 30 and 50 bucks for this. Looking for someone who can harvest email addresses from a LinkedIn group, list the emails in an Excel sheet, name and company employer is recommended. Look at all these bids. This is not even something that gets very few bids. Tons of people know how to do this, okay? You can see the types of bids that they got. And you could actually go to this and actually create a project and invite these folks that have bid to bid on it. And let me send this link out to everybody. You could actually invite them, say, hey, I saw that you bid on this other, since they bid on this one, they might be up for doing another project like that. So, and then again, remember so say you scrape inside a group and you've got 100, 200, 500 emails. You want to make sure to mention. First, join the group yourself, then make sure you mention we're both a part of XYZ group on LinkedIn. I notice and that could be your subject line. We're both part of XYZ group on LinkedIn. And then you say, I noticed we're both part of the XYZ group on LinkedIn. If you search for me inside the group, I'm the guy with the blonde hair and dark rimmed glasses. There might be a few others that have my name in the group. Be real specific like that. Be real personal. Some identifying feature. Like I have a beard, so I could say, hey, I'm the one with short brown hair and glasses and a beard under the name Chad Kimball. There might be more than one Chad Kimball, so you can look for me there. That's your intro. Anyway, I noticed we're both interested in XYZ market. I found your email address on your LinkedIn profile and thought I would reach out. I've created a group here and wanted to invite you to join it. Here, then list your benefits. When you join, shoot me a message inside the group and let's connect. Here's a link to the group. You're pre-approved to join already. Let me put this. I'm going to put this copy up for you so you can. Let me get this out of my notes so I can show it to you. You guys can pause. If you watch the recording, you can um, actually pause it so you can use this. Just put it in Notepad. Hopefully you don't mind Notepad. So this is a great example. Now you're going to have to get creative with this, but this is a great example of how you can be personal in this email that you're sending out so that it's well received. But yeah, I noticed we're both part of XYZ group. If you search me inside the group, I'm the guy with the blonde hair and dark rimmed glasses. Be real colloquial. Be personal. There might be a few under my name in there. Anyway, I noticed we're both interested in XYZ market. I found your email address on your LinkedIn profile, and I thought I would reach out. I've created a new group here, benefit, benefit, benefit. Add those there, and I wanted to invite you to join it. When you join, shoot me a message inside the group, and let's connect. Right there, you've invited them to also become a connection with you. Right there. Here's a link to the group. You're pre-approved to join already. Folks, you can send out so many emails like this using that feature of using the confirmation email, customizable confirmation email, way, way more. You're going to be able to scale this way, way larger using this strategy than you ever would sending emails inside LinkedIn. You can export your connections, and you can use this exact same method. Hey, we're both connected on LinkedIn. I don't know if you remember, I'm the guy with the blonde hair and dark rimmed glasses. Be real specific in your emails. Now, theoretically, someone could send a custom request to LinkedIn through their help ticket and say so-and-so is spamming me outside LinkedIn, inviting me to join their group. But really, LinkedIn doesn't have any proof of it. They didn't get the email themselves. It didn't happen inside their system. It's a very, very safe way to scale this. And again, you can always set up a test LinkedIn profile to test this out. Test it out on a couple thousand emails. See how it works with your target market and how they respond to it first if you want to be really, really safe. It's really important that the email has a lot of detail about what you have in common, so it's received better. And the nice thing is, it's very rare that you'll ever get people are scraping my email address all the time and spamming me, but it's very rare that I will get a customized email like this that has so much personal information about me in it. That's the nice thing about LinkedIn, is if you use the software scraper or you outsource it, you can really get pretty niched out and make sure that the list is a targeted list that you're sending, and then mention those things. Say you tell your scraper outsourcer, I want you to scrape people that have SEO in the name of their title on their LinkedIn profile. Then in that email that you send, you can say, I notice that you work in the SEO field, and that's part of your main role. Something like that. Right away, they're going to say, how do they know that? How could they send out a mass message to me personally saying specifically, I noticed that you are an SEO professional? You can get a lot of information. You could even get other types of information from their profile. Say you want to message everybody that used to work, that everybody that has SEO in their title now and used to work at one point for IBM, or pick some big corporation. Then you could put in, you send a message to that group, and you could say, hey, I noticed you used to work at IBM, one of my favorite companies, and you're an SEO professional, and I thought we'd make a great connection, or I thought you'd be interested in this group. Join the group. Search for me inside the group. I'm the guy with the blonde hair and dark rimmed glasses. You see how specific that's getting? This is how you get these emails so they're actually received. Even in this email, you could even incentivize them to join the group. And the nice thing is you're not promoting much at all. It's very unassuming. All you're promoting is joining a free group. You're not selling anything. You're not telling them to click on a Viagra ad. So it's very unassuming, and especially if you include a lot of personal detail like this, it can be very, very unassuming and disarming. You want to try to be really personal in your tone as well, be really colloquial when you email them. So especially you can incentivize, but make sure you're very personal in when you incentivize. Don't make the pitch too hardcore there. For instance, if you're offering them, you might want to say, hey, and by the way, I'm also giving away a free coupon code or whatever, or giving away a free video series for everybody who joins the group. I thought you might be interested in that as well. Try to be really personal, not too salesy, because again, you're sending them a personal email. Okay, I'm almost done here, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to take questions. All right. So here's a nice thing. Now here's the other thing you can do with this. Once you've got the list, say you only get a small percentage of people actually join your email list. Say you get people to join your group, but since really the whole purpose of the email is getting them to click off the email onto a group, a lot of them might not even notice a confirmation email to join your list. So, but you are going to get a percentage of people to actually join your email list as well, and so then you can send them regular emails every week, every other week, something like that. Again, not selling anything, just short, informational, relational, always mentioning the group, always mentioning your LinkedIn profile to build rapport. So this is just a relationship building thing, not a hard selling thing. Again, you're going to hard sell through the group, through your announcement emails, and you're going to actually have leads coming to you, and you're also selling through your autoresponders that are those templates that we set up. So this allows you in your emails to be relational, build rapport, connect, maybe send a promotional every so often. You can even do this with your own LinkedIn group. You could outsource and say, I want everybody in this LinkedIn group that is a member of this group that has an email address publicly displayed on their LinkedIn profile. I want them in a list, first name, last name, email. And you could have an email list. Now there's no place to export your group members, but you could have an email list of everybody in your group. Hopefully everybody got that text. I'm going to go back to my group so I can show this. But you can have say I was the owner of the Business Owners Toolkit, I could have a list of all these folks' emails. I just hire someone to join the group and to scrape them all and to give me that list. LinkedIn will never give you that information, but with some of these intelligent scrapers, these programmers offshore, you can get it done for really, really cheap. You could even scrape, yeah, Laura, Larissa, you could even scrape someone else's connections. Now this is getting a little more detailed because the scraper would actually have to connect with them first. So say I wanted to scrape all of Peg Stuckey's connections. If I just go to her profile, she may or may not show her connections. Let's see if she does. I'm just picking her at random. She may or may not show her connections. Let's see if she does. No, so she's not showing her connections. Let me see. She shows them. Yeah, see, she's not showing her connections at all. Some people will, though, but a lot of times, in order to see their connections, they're only going to show their connections to you if you are their connection. But you could very well say, hey, I want you to create a LinkedIn profile. I want you to connect with Peg Stuckey so that you can see her connections. Then I want you to scrape all of her connections. This would be a great way. You could even then message her connections, say, hey, I noticed we're both connected with Peg Stuckey. I thought it would make a great connection. You're emailing them off LinkedIn. Remember, off LinkedIn. You're not sending them a LinkedIn message. You're sending them an email message, and you're scraping all their connections. I really encourage you to make use of these offshore folks to um, to do this. All right, Sherry says, what's the cheapest way to send all the emails? I hesitate to say it on this video because I don't want this video to be too dated. So I would just price out different options. I like One Shopping Cart. They're pretty cheap. You can have a lot of email records in there before you reach any kind of limit. You're gonna have to check out the different options, but usually these email providers have a different number of a different price point depending on, let me get back, I'm like lost here. Let me get back to my iContacts. Um, I've lost it. But anyway, usually they have their price points are based on how many contacts you have in there. So here we go. Pricing. So if you look at iContact, usually they'll break it out for you. See here, 500 subscribers, $14 a month. Now the thing is, that doesn't, you'd have to contact them specifically, so and tell them, you know, what happens if I get the $14 monthly plan, um, and I send out, 1,000 confirmation emails. What can I do that? I don't think they're all gonna. I think I'm gonna lose a lot of people, and it'll probably be under 500 in the end. And then what you have to ask them how many contacts can I import? If they're only going to let you import the number of subscribers that are connected with that plan, then you're going to have to get a higher level plan even just to import that many. But again, you could just do it for 1 month and then cancel. I mean, it really doesn't. All your main goal here is to get them on your LinkedIn group. So. All right. All right, let me just say a couple more things and then I'm going to take a quick break and answer questions. Um, you can do this also with your niche LinkedIn persona profiles if you have personas that you've set up. The nice thing about this, again, too, is you can do it all off of LinkedIn and you don't have to worry about LinkedIn catching you at this or connecting your profiles together. You just log in once through a proxy, create your group, get it all set up, join the groups you want to target. All takes you maybe an hour, then log back out, and then the rest can be done outside LinkedIn, scraping, emailing, getting them to join the group or getting them to connect with you. And it's a great way to have multiple persona profiles that you're building up, and you're building them all up offline, off LinkedIn. Okay, so let's just take a 5-minute break, or let's just do a 2-minute break. And for anybody, because I know I've been going for a long time, and then anybody that wants to um, take a quick bathroom break or whatever can go ahead and do that. And then I see some questions popping up. If you have a question about the content, just please put that into the question box there, and I can run through the questions here. That'll let me know how much time I have to answer the questions. And I can either run through them real fast, or I can take a lot of time. If there's just a few questions, I can just take a lot more time per question. That'll help me to sort of pace myself here. So go ahead. I'm just going to take a little quick break and drink some water, and just for about 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to jump into these questions right away. Ron says, do you have to know them, or can we use this for recruiting? I believe you were talking about inviting people to your group, and I think I answered that question, Ron, about using it for recruiting. You want to be careful with LinkedIn groups that you oh, Seth just sent me a Skype here. Hold on just a minute. Let me just answer Seth here real quick. All right, sorry, folks. Okay, so Ron, I think I answered your question about do you have to know them? Um, if I didn't, please let me know. Okay. Um, Okay, Din says, what about using the phone app to send invites to your contacts? Din, I have not used the LinkedIn phone app. I don't want to do my LinkedIn stuff on my on my tablet, so I don't use that. So that's something you'd have to test out. Okay, Sam K says, didn't you say that we don't have to confirm emails with iContact or OneShoppingCart.com? Correct. The main goal here is you're just using, it's just an excuse to send out a message to these folks. So it doesn't really matter if they confirm, yes, I want to be on this email list, or no, I don't want to be on this email list. As long as they click off your confirmation email and they go to the LinkedIn group and join your group, it really doesn't matter if they confirm to be on your email list. And actually, joining your LinkedIn group is probably a lot less of an intrusive request. Subscribing to your email list, people think, oh, I'm going to get spammed, or I'm never going to get off this email list. But joining a LinkedIn group is easy. You know, they already probably are a part of a LinkedIn group. They know they could join or they could unjoin. It's familiar to them. They might be a part of all kinds of different groups. So it's possible, depending on your target market, that it would be even easier to get them to join the LinkedIn group than it would be to get them to confirm uh, to join your email. You will get some people to join your email list from this, but the main thing is to get them on your LinkedIn list, your LinkedIn group. Are you selling CPA offers or other offline business offers like mortgages, insurance, etc.? I'm not in the mortgages or the insurance niche, and I really don't do CPA either. I own my own stuff. I own my own products, Valerie, and sell those. So that's the main experience I have. But what you would need to do for CPA offers, you'd have to have a higher end CPA offer that really has a lot bigger of a profit margin. If you're selling, you know, rinky-dink CPA offers, $1 or $2, that's just not something that's going to work too well with this strategy. You need to get into a little higher profit margin for this to really work, specifically with this exporting and for groups, because you're going to do a lot of work to get this group going and to get these prospects trusting you. And then if in the end all you're doing is getting $1 or $2 out of them, it's not really worth all the work. This is better for, yeah, for niches like mortgages or insurance. You're building up trust. If you're an insurance agent, you're building up trust. You're building up, hey, I'm the one that's an expert in whatever, homeowners or whatever, and then they're going to come to you to get their insurance plan. Same thing with offline type of businesses or offline consulting. This works great for that type of stuff. Especially those of you that are local SEO consultants, you're going to find that this is going to be really, really useful for you. Okay, Sherry asks, are you scraping emails so that you can send more messages? That is a side goal. When you get this scraper going or you get someone offshore to do it for you, you are using it so you can eventually, maybe they'll join your email list and you can send them email messages. But the main thing you're doing is finding an excuse to send them an invite to your group. Once they're on LinkedIn, there's a lot more social activity, and you're going to have LinkedIn delivering the messages for you once a week. And it's just a really powerful way to do it. Whereas email marketing, your deliverability is not going to be as high, and probably people are going to be distracted anyway because they're going to be clicking off of that confirmation email to join your group. So you probably get a higher percentage, depending on your target market, you'll probably get a higher percentage of people joining the group than actually clicking and joining your email list. And you might even get your account canceled depending iContact or One Shopping Cart. I mean, they might not like this, so it might be a short-lived account with iContact, but really it doesn't matter because as you got your one email out there, you got your invite out there, you personalized it, send them in smaller groups. You can personalize everybody who's an SEO professional, everybody who's already my contact. Then you send a separate group email to everybody who's in such and such a group, and a separate email to everybody who's in this other group. And so you can personalize it a lot. And then get response, whatever you choose. It doesn't really matter because you got the message out there and you got your people into your group. Okay, Ron asks, is this number on a per month basis? And I don't remember what I was talking about when you asked that question, so maybe if you could clarify that for me. Sherry asks, I've tried to load up a list in GetResponse and they always require a double opt-in to be used. Maybe that has changed. Yeah, they do. The double opt-in process is where they send out that confirmation email. What I'm saying is the double opt-in email that they send out. So when you import a list into like GetResponse, they're going to send out a confirmation email, the double opt-in email that says so-and-so has requested that you be subscribed to their email list. Do you want to click this link if you want to? Now, I don't know about GetResponse, but I know One Shopping Cart and iContact let you customize that email. So what you're going to do is instead of pushing them to subscribe to your list in that email, you're going to push them over to your LinkedIn group. And so you're not even using the double opt-in email for double opt-in. Hopefully that makes sense. Din says, I'm using VPN Pro, hide my ass. Do I use the same browser and apply switch server location each time I want to change profile account? Yes, you can use the same browser. It might be safer actually to switch browsers if you really want to hide your tracks, but make sure you clear your cookies. Then don't forget, if you're using the same browser and you switch servers, don't forget LinkedIn has probably cookied your machine. So they have other ways of telling that it's you, even if you switch server locations and switch IP addresses. Make sure you also clear your cookies. That's why I love to set up virtual machines on my own computer, because then it's a completely clean virtual machine. It's brand new. There's no cookies on it or anything, and I know it's going to be pure, and LinkedIn can't track me at all. So watch that video in the members area where I talked about setting up a virtual machine using VMware, and this is a different type of virtual machine. You actually set it up on your own computer, and it's a great way to hide your tracks. All right, Valerie answered this one. Since I don't know if you have covered the profile setup as a sales page issue, I would ask about that. People do not connect with empty accounts and empty profiles, simply description and name. Do not encourage people to join, not even the Lions. Yeah, I talk about this. If you're an advanced customer, the advanced software can actually, if you're generating a ton of different profiles, the advanced software can actually populate that data for you. But yeah, you're going to need to have your profile set up. Watch this August 21st session here, because you're going to need to have your profile set up before you do any of this stuff. Make sure you have a profile that's set up properly to attract leads, so that it actually works for you. Sam says, when do I import? I don't have to request people to join the list like Aweber makes you do now. Yeah, if you're using something, maybe Aweber, I haven't checked Aweber, but if Aweber makes, if you can't customize the email, then it's not going to work. You need to be able to completely customize this confirmation email that they're going to send out. Now, Aweber might say, oh, you can't really customize it. You have to send out our confirmation message. Well, then the strategy is not going to work for you. You have to pick a different provider. Are there any softwares that you know of for creating professional LinkedIn profile pages? I do not. I mean, I know the advanced software that we have will populate the profile for you, but you're still going to have to do a little customized work to make it really look professional. But I don't know about that. Okay, Ron, subscriber limits. The subscriber limits, well, specifically that I showed you on eye contact, the subscriber limits were total. Okay, so you're going to pay $14 per month to have every month to have 500 subscribers on your eye contact account. So once you get more than 500 people on your list, you're going to have to bump up to the next plan. Are you going to discuss, Gina says, how to sell through announcements? I personally will sell through announcements just the same way I would sell through email. So again, I like to be conversational and personal, but again, I'm not worried in an announcement and a group announcement. I'm not worried about selling. Remember, these are long-term relationships that you have with these people. So if you're constantly annoyingly pitching them through your group announcement emails, they're going to leave your group. So anything that you do to successfully sell on email, you would sell through your group announcements. You're basically using the group announcements as an email marketing system that can deliver the emails and increase your deliverability because it's on LinkedIn. I joined the advanced group. I can't find the advanced content. Could you please quickly jog my memory, or am I supposed to wait for the training first? No, Larissa, there's no recording of the advanced session. So you're going to get to attend a live session, and we're going to send you a message probably tomorrow that will give you the specific date and time of the live session and the registration email where you can register for that live session for the advanced folks. We took a survey. If you didn't get the survey, let me know, but we took a survey of everybody and the specific times that they needed, and so we've got a couple of times that we've scheduled, a couple of slots that everybody can make. So we're going to have 2 more sessions. The times that we schedule these sessions, everybody's going to be able to make these sessions because everybody said they could make those times in the surveys. So yeah, you'll get that via email. If you don't get that email tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, make sure that you send us a message at chadwarrior@gmail.com, and we can make sure that you get that invite for the advanced sessions. And the software also is in your members area. So when you log in, Larissa, you should have received an email with a login link where you can log in with your username and password, and that's where you're going to download the software. When you log in, it's going to look something like this, and except for it's going to say LinkedIn Live Cash Advanced course up here at the top, and that's where, and down here right below that, there's going to be a software. Well, I'm logged into a standard login, but for the advanced users, right here is a link to the software, the advanced software, as well as a tutorial video on how to use the software. In the live sessions, I'm going to get a lot into the tactics, specific tactics and strategies for using that advanced software as well. So Gina says, will you teach us to conversationally sell? I've never sold through email. Gina, you're in the SEO Cash Club, so I'd encourage you to watch the email list secrets videos. I go into all that in the SEO Cash Club. I have my email list secrets course. There's a ton of videos to that course, and that is one of the best courses I've ever made that didn't sell. People just were not interested in that course, even though I personally have made my fortune with email marketing, and I think everyone else should really be into this course, but just people just didn't buy it. It just wasn't magic bullet enough, I guess. But really, if you watch that link to that email course, that will teach you what you need to know. Also, those of you who took advantage of the SEO Cash Club free trial, please do log in and watch that before your free trial expires. if you log into the members area here, all you do is scroll down to under income generators here, and it says email list secrets, and that is where you watch those videos. And if you didn't get the free trial and you're interested in it, just send us an email at chadwarrior@gmail.com, and we can switch your account over to a month free trial of the SEO Cash Club. There's tons of information in here. Private forum that I'm in almost every day. We're posting content regularly to it. We also have weekly live Q&A sessions with me or Seth, and you get a free review as well of your website. It's a review that all the other members can see, but still you get a free review there, and lots of other benefits. So if you want to switch over to that free trial, there's still time. You could just let us know and switch over. Okay, that's the last question. So we've been going for almost 3.5, almost 4 hours. So I'm going to close up this webinar now, and hope everybody learned something useful. I encourage you to get out there, get some bids out there, get some people to scrape emails for you, get your group set up. Next week I'm going to give you, or next session I'm going to give you even more strategies for growing your group virally and things like that. You're going to really be able to grow your group huge with the strategy I taught you today, as well as the other strategies that I'm going to show you in the next session. All right, so I will see everybody in the next session, or I will see you on the forum if you're an SEO Cash Club member.